For Florida State football, if you could change one game last season, what would it be? If you could change one game in the history of the program, what would it be? And because you were on the field for 4 seasons, I'll give you a bonus and you can change one game in your career. What games would those be?
I would say Clemson. And the reason why is because I think with that, I think I gotta go back and remember, but I think that would have at least given us like a chance to be able to play in the ACC championship. But we still more than likely wouldn't have been able to get into it. But those 3 games that we had on that skid, you could pick any one of those, and that would have been what you would change. Program history, any of the Miami misses, like that, because those are the games that, like, Bobby needed the playoff or BCS. If Bobby would be, then there would be no indicators of Saban, right? Because Saban's got the national championships, right? I'll give you Saban. Saban, when he retires, he should be considered the greatest coach, based upon accolades and championships. But he took it. He was the best coach in the system that was provided for him. But Florida State, for whatever reason, never got the opportunities with one loss or to a top team outside of the when they went to a conference, and then obviously they gave them the benefit of the doubt after Notre Dame. But if you make one of those field goals against Miami in those close losses, there is no doubt that you are the best team in the nation and you're going and playing for a natty. I also think, was it 96? In 96, we were robbed of an opportunity because we should not have had. I think LSU was robbed of an opportunity as well. I think if I beat you in the regular season, I don't care how much the world wants to see the rematch. I should not have to play you in a national championship game again. I think I've already beat you. You get your chance next year. Let me go beat somebody else. Somebody else deserves that opportunity. But Florida State having a rematch with Florida in the Sugar Bowl, I'm sure it's sold out tickets. And I mean, I was too young to even. I don't even think I was really a Florida State. I don't even know I was a football fan at that point in my life. But that would be it. And as a player, 03 Miami in the pouring down rain. We lost to Clemson that year. We only lost to Clemson and Miami that year. We lost to Miami twice. But if we beat Miami or Clemson at the end of the season, we are playing in the national championship game. Like a lot of people talk about the lost decade, but I don't really think people understand how close we were in 03 and 04 to really getting a chance to play for the national championship. It was just some wild, dumb luck. Like Miami in 04, we were supposed to play on Labor Day, but people who don't remember, the state of Florida got hit with back-to-back years, major hurricanes. It actually messed up. I was supposed to be in a wedding because that was going to be our bye week that Friday. That Friday, we ended up playing Miami. I was supposed to be in one of my good friends' wedding at that time. So we had to completely change that game. And I think we went on a run again. And then we met what's his name? Oh, Maryland. We played Maryland with shock guy, Sean Merriman. And I had no idea who Sean Merriman was until we played him. And we found out very quick who he was. And that was still a game that came down to a missed field goal, if I remember correctly. We had our opportunities. And then we lost to Florida because at that point, we kind of knew we were out of the ACC championship. So it was just some things that we could have, like, if the ball bounces a different way, we're in a different position. And you kick yourself, man. You kick yourself.
Yeah, it's a good point that you make about rematches, because my defense for the point that you made is that it's not the NFL. In the NFL, you have a structured system. Nobody's making any decisions. The decisions were made in a boardroom years ago, and the structure is the structure. And when the results are made, nobody has to make decisions. The system tells you who you're playing next. So you have division formats. You know who the division champs are. You know who gets the buys. You know who gets the wild cards. It's all based on the records, and nobody's making any decisions. No human is making any decisions. And you play a regular season, and if you happen to meet somebody in the playoffs that you played in the regular season, well, for number one, the pool of teams is so small, it happens a pretty large amount of times. Number two, it's just based on the system that's been built and determines, okay, you two ran into each other because you won and advanced. But in the case James brings up in 2011 with Alabama and LSU, and then with Florida State in 1996, there are other teams out there to play that you did not prove it against and have that opportunity. So why not have those teams play because you already cleared that challenge, that hurdle, line up the next guy, the next team to see what would happen. And then you had the, as Carlos is letting us know, of course, you had the third string quarterback, Marcus Outson, playing in the national championship game against Tennessee.
Yeah, Rooster. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I forgot all about. That's one that if Chris Wiggy plays that game, we completely we run away with that. And then all we needed was some offensive output. And if we don't lose Snoop Menace to academic stuff, we beat Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl for the third when we played in our third consecutive. So it's just Bobby has some bad breaks, man. Some bad beats.
Yes, he did. He did because again the level of consistency at an elite level is pretty much unmatched. What he was able to deliver, at least unmatched during his time, it was not matched. That's for sure.
Yeah, we're seeing now how difficult, even with Saban, how difficult it is to finish in that top five. That one or two losses at an inopportune time completely changes the trajectory. And it was an innovative time where people at that time, to Nebraska's credit, Nebraska had innovation in a way that like that's what everybody wanted to do. Big guys, we're gonna run it down your throat. Well, Florida State and Miami came in with a style of speed kills. You can't hit what you can't catch, and started blowing away guys. And now that made people start really coming in, seeing what was going on down here in Florida, and recruiting away the talent. That's the best way to weaken those guys is to pull guys away. And I think, like I said, as a football historian, I think that's always cool. Right now, you're seeing Kirby and Nick Saban's tree mainly really just focus on it's hard to lose when you have all the best guys. And I don't disagree with that philosophy either. They got a lot of good cats. Hopefully we can keep. I just saw one of for Florida State fans that also worried about Fox. I know that was only one of the questions you asked me. Just know we got a really good chance of hitting Georgia at that position with a commit that they had twice with the number one quit. But I got a chance to see that kid at a padded football camp yesterday. Kid looks good, and he's the number one tight end in the nation for the class of 2025. And just know we had a quarterback out there, a quarterback commit for 2025 that was really working on making sure that he could throw it to that guy sometime within the next 4 to 5 years.